Welcome to Revit. If you are using the latest version, you will get to see the brand new home screen. It contains the most recently opened models and families. If you are using Revit 2021, you will see an icon for BIM 360. If you are working on the cloud, all models will be available here. Have a look at the top left of your screen. There are two small icons. Click on the Home icon to switch between the home screen and the active Revit project. The ribbon is located at the top of your screen. It contains almost all commands. Here are the different tabs it contains. File tab. Use this tab to create new models or families. You will also find the Open, Save, Export, and Print tools. Architecture tab. Model everything. Every architecture element that appears in 3D in your project is created from here. You will also find tools like rooms, levels, and grids. Structure tab. Create beams and columns. If you are an architect or designer, this tab is used for beams, columns, and foundation. Insert tab. Load files to your project. Any external files coming to your model is inserted from this tab, including families, CAD, Revit, images, PDF, and any other file type. Annotate tab. Add 2D to your views. Every tag, dimension, detailing lines, text symbol in Revision Cloud come from here. They are added to a single view and are not part of the 3D model. Analyze tab. Simulate and optimize. This tab is mostly used by engineers. The tools here are used to calculate the structural elements and to verify the mechanical systems. It also includes a new path of travel tool that is helpful to architects. Massing and Site tab. Create the surroundings. Create topography, trees, grass, sidewalls, and other elements around the building. Collaborate tab. Work with other people. This tab is used to work with a team or with consultants. You will find Synchronize and Reload tool, as well as work sets. View tab. Put your model on paper. All views are created from here. Also contains sheet and title blocks. Manage tab. Settings for your model. This is mostly used by BIM managers and advanced users. Contains settings like line weight, parameters, phases, and design options. Add-ins tab. External features. This tab contains a few additional Autodesk features and most external add-ins by third-party developers. The work sharing monitor and e-transmit features are especially helpful. Modify tab. Adjust elements. Use this tab to adjust existing elements in your model. Contains basic tools like move, copy, and mirror. Done with the ribbon. Now to status, view, and option bars. View control bar. Settings for the current view. This is where you make adjustments to your view. Select the level of detail, the graphic display option, the scale, and the crop region. You can also see hidden elements and bring them back if needed. Selection tray. Decide what you select. This lets you decide what you can or cannot select. A red X on these symbols means that the selection category is disabled. The icon on the right lets you filter elements if you were to make a selection with multiple items. Options bar. Customize new elements. This bar appears when creating new elements or using certain commands. The content is different depending on the type of item you are adding. Quick Access Toolbar. Most used tools. Contains basic tools like save, undo, and redo, as well as commands that are most frequently used. You can add and remove any command from this bar. The project browser is used to access every view, legend, schedule, sheet, family, and group in your project. The properties are used to modify a selected element. The information is different depending on what is selected. 12 tips to understand Revit's user interface. Tip number 1. Use keyboard shortcuts. Shortcuts in Revit are used by pressing two letters. No need to press Enter like in AutoCAD. If you hover your cursor above a tool icon in the ribbon, the shortcut will be indicated. Like here, we know the shortcut for wall is WA. To customize shortcuts, type KS to enter the shortcuts menu. Search for the command you are looking for, then enter the two letters shortcut you want to use in this space. Tip number 2. Enter any units you want. Each Revit model uses a specific unit, whether it is imperial or metric. However, you can type any units you want as long as you add the units. For example, this is an imperial Revit model. We type in 150 mm and get the same result as typing 6. Tip number 3. Work with two monitors. Since the 2019 release, working with two monitors in Revit is much easier. Simply drag one of the view to the second screen and dock it. Tip number 4. Search your project browser. Finding views, sheets, and families in your project browser can be long if you look manually. Click on the project browser, then use shortcut Ctrl F. you will be able to search for anything. In this case, we type in ceiling and immediately get all views and sheet names containing the word ceiling. Tip number 5. Use the right-click menu. There's a lot of useful hidden tool in the right-click menu. The content is different depending on what element is selected. For example, we have a few additional commands when a wall is selected. Tip number 6. Use the tab views. Revit 2019 introduced the great tab views feature. Each view has its own tab, and an icon will represent the view type. You can create multiple windows. Each window can contain multiple tabs. Drag a tab to create an independent window. Then you can drag the tab again to dock it to another existing window. Revit will display a docking preview with a blue highlight. Tip number 7. Press Escape twice to exit creation mode. A lot of new users get confused when creating elements because they are stuck in creation mode. For example, if you are creating a wall, if you press Escape once, you'll still be in the wall creation mode. Press Escape twice to return to the Modify mode, which is represented by the standard cursor icon. Tip number 8. Work with multiple views. To make the most out of Revit, you should have more than one view opened. A good workflow is to always have a 3D view open, especially if you are modeling elements. In this case, we open a floor plan, an elevation, and a 3D view. We use the Tile Views tool in the View tab to create independent windows for all these views. Tip number 9. Click Switch Windows to see all open views. When you have a lot of views from multiple projects open, you can have a look at the Switch Windows menu. It is located in the Quick Access toolbar. It will display all the open views with the name of the project. Tip number 10. Close down unused views. Too many open views can slow you down. Instead of closing them all one by one, use the Close Inactive tool in the View tab. All views will be closed except for the ones that are visible. Tip number 11. Shut down useless tabs and menus. If you are an architect, Revit contains a lot of tabs that are not useful for you. For example, you have Steel and Systems tabs, which are usually used by engineers. Go to the File tab and click on Options. Go to User Interface. Uncheck the tabs like we are doing in this video. After you click on OK, you will realize that a few tabs will have disappeared from the ribbon. Tip number 12. Pay attention to Contextual tab. When you are selecting an element in Revit, the Modify tab will suddenly have a green tint, and new specific comments will be added. For example, we have the Edit Profile command now available when a wall is selected. When a door is selected, you have access to the Edit family and Pick New Host tools. It is critical that you understand the difference between a family, a type, and an instance. The families are external files created by users and inserted in a project. Sometimes, families are built in Revit and cannot be modified. Types are variations of a family. For example, you can have an aluminum door type and a red plastic door type of the same family. Instances are a single occurrence of an element in a project, so each time you have a specific aluminum door type used, it is called an instance. In this example for a simple door family, you can see more clearly the differences between family type and instance. In the type, you set the width, height, and material, and any other parameter. Then create as many instances of this type as you want. Here we create a simple door family and load it in the project. Then we create instances of the door from two different types. The first type is the aluminum door. Then we create two more instances of a red door type. You can adjust the type properties by selecting a door and clicking Edit Type. If we change a parameter like the width, all aluminum door of this type will be affected. You can also change the instance parameter, which only affects a single element. So here we change the door sill height, and only this specific door is affected.